Good morning, it's Denise here, Denise Junk Journals UK, coming to you this morning with a video sewing in the signatures from the Christmas Botanical journal that I'm making with a kit from Nanine at Collage Type. So I've got up and had my breakfast and a cup of tea this morning, so that I've given my brain the best possible chance at this, because sewing in signatures can be a little tricky, especially on video, so let's give it a go. Hello and welcome everybody, it's lovely to have you here. Hope you're crafting along. Let me know if you're about to do this as well. So just to remind you, or for those of you that have just fallen upon the channel, I've got two signatures. I've got 9 pages, 9 double pages in each, which is 1836 I think, single sides to write on in each signature. And I was going to, I think you saw me last video, a couple of videos ago, make these up with the idea of putting them in the centre, but I've changed my mind because they're way too small. You were probably thinking that yourself when I said it, but it was just one of those brainwaves I came up with, and yeah, realised it perhaps wasn't a good idea. Okay, so I've got a soft cover journal, fabric on the outside, and just backed on it's on a Amazon piece of card and backed with some thin cardstock on the inside, so it's not a really thick cover. So I am going to go straight through the spine and have the strings exposed. I'm going to cover them up with some beautiful upholstery lace from Justine at House of Mahalo. Sent me in some happy mail, and yes, lost my thread completely there. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm going to sew them through here and straight into that. So to be able to do that, I need to find the centre kind of, but the centre and then be either side of it. If there was 3 signatures going in, you would want centre and one either side. So I'm going to make a template. I did when I actually cut the card itself, the cover itself, that's it. I'm going to have one of those days with not finding my words, I can see. Breakfast didn't help that. So I actually cut a template, but it's I cut it out of cardboard and I wanted it in paper. Needs to be bendable, etc, etc. There we go. So I've just cut it out onto a piece of, traced around it, cut it out onto a piece of floppy paper. So the first thing we need to do, so anything I do on the paper now is going to be the same size as in there. Yeah, so first thing we need to do, I'm trying to make sure that my fingers aren't in the way, but that's not easy, is find the middle. So like I say, this would be exactly the same if you were doing 3. The reason I want the middle of the paper is so that when I go through the middle of the signatures, I'm in exactly the right place. It will become more evident as I go along. It's a little bit difficult to explain. Yeah, so we're not, we need to be fairly accurate, but an odd 0.5 millimetre won't rock the boat, as it were. Now what I'm going to do is, just so that it's more obvious, you could have just drawn a line down it with a pencil or whatever, but I'll be able to see this and you'll be able to see what I'm doing as well now, because I've inked that crease. Okay, so we've now got the very centre, if you like, of the spine there. So, and I'm going to put T for top. That's really important, because it doesn't matter how low down you put, can you see right up there? Doesn't matter how low down, or where, to be honest, you put your first string in hole, but unless you're going to be absolutely 100% accurate from there to there and there to there, it will make a difference. So I could do that one 1 inch down and this one up 1.25 inches. Well, if I get that muddled up and turn it round at any point, I could have one of these in at 1/4 inch difference, or I could have them, it could make a big difference. I won't go through all the possibilities, I'll tie myself in knots, but Yeah, so you definitely need to find out which the top is and make sure, because we're going to use this to measure on here, make sure you always got the T at the top. Okay, so the next thing we do, we've got the middle that way, the next thing we need to do is find the middle that way. So fold it in the opposite direction and that will give you the middle there. And I'm going to, for now, just put a big pencil mark on it just to make it easy to find. And then we need to, decide how far down we're going to do it from the top. Now you can measure and have it the same, it's up to you. I will, but I still won't turn it around because it might make a difference to these. It's not worth the risk. So I'm not sure we have it 3 centimetres in. Yeah, and then the same from the bottom up and see what we think. Then we'll put it on the spine and have a look. Now this will depend very much if you've got something in the middle of your signature that you want to catch in. Yeah, so those 2 tiny envelopes that I was going to put in, I haven't looked at them on here, but yeah, so that would only be held on by, it's not very big anyway, it would only be held on by that single thread. So not a brilliant idea. If you could come in another centimetre or so here if you had an envelope that you wanted to catch all 3. Okay, so on the centre line we have got our 3 marks, which is where we want the signature, both signatures, to be on that line, level across, so that they sit. I think I'll go with the tops. No, I'll go with the bottoms. They should in theory be the same, but just in case they're not, so I will line both bottoms up when I put that in to put the holes. Again, you'll see what I mean in a minute. Right, so now we need, because the signatures are not going in the middle because there's only 2. If you had 3 signatures, 1 would go in the middle, but what we need is a signature either side of that halfway line. Well, halfway between here and there, roughly. Trying to think how I did this last time. Don't know if I went across on my board, maybe. I've got a little one here. Because I always had this. I haven't made one since I've covered in glitter, look. I haven't made one since we've been at this house, so I've always had my board on my table. Yeah, that might help me keep a straight line. Yep, so I don't know if you can see I'm lining up, perhaps it'd be better that way. No, it wouldn't. I'm lining up the bottom there and I'm lining up the edge there, so I'm fairly square that way. Now I have got a line to go across. That was lucky. Let's move that out of the way a minute. So it's fallen right on that line, or just about. That's good. So can you see my ruler's dead straight now because it's on this line. And we just want to be in the middle somewhere, so not too close to the end. So if you're going to go further one way, go further into the middle, come off me, rather than further that way, because this is going to be right on the edge of the spine, and it might get caught when it's closing. So because there's only 2, we can go a little bit further in. I really need a measurement though, so I can do the same both ways. So let's do it like that. I'll put the one on there. Yeah, so you can see that's slightly over 2. So if I go just inside the half there and just inside the half there, I can actually draw a line across so you can see they're in the right place. Okay, so I'm not on a line here. Let's move it down that straight line so that it is. That's it. And I'll do the same again. Whoops, keep it straight. Now this is, belts and braces. You don't have to be this pernickety with it. It's just that I have had some issues with like hanging at different levels, and this is, perhaps that needs to be in a little bit. Yeah, this is the best way that I found to deal with it, to really get them as square as I possibly can. It is a little bit of a gamble, but it's worth taking the time on this bit, if nothing else, to get your marks exactly level. It's the key to getting your signatures level. And you know, in your signatures, a couple of millimetres out does show when you're hanging them. You know, like that. Now I've done it. I have done it in the past, and I have got over it by putting lace on the top of some and on the bottom of others, etc. So it's not the end of the world if you do it, so don't stress out too much. Now when you're doing a 3 signature, you've probably got a much wider, well, you would have a much wider spine, I would think, and you can then, while we've folded that in half, you can then fold the other 2 in half to get an accurate line down there, but this one obviously is quite small. Right, so what I'm then going to do is go through those holes just with my fine needle, because I need to make those holes. Do I only need the middle one? No, I can't remember. I might only need the middle, but I'll do them all, and then I'm not going back on myself, am I? So I want to put pencil through and make a line on my a dot on my signatures where I'm going to put the all through. So not a huge one. Now I was thinking, I had this on my mind last night thinking about it, you could actually do this with something like tracing paper if you were really worried about getting it right and it moving right. You could do it with tracing paper and actually sew the tracing paper into your signature, do you know what I mean? Into your spine with your signature, and then just tear it round the stitching. Now it's only an idea I've thought, it's not an idea I've tried, but I think that would work. Okay, so we know where we're going with those. We know that centre line is where we want the middle of these. So what you do is get your signatures, so this is going to be my front one, yeah, and line them up exactly how you want them. So I have, I think, it's hard for you to see and for me to see, I think I've lined mine up towards the bottom, but as central as I can. Yeah. I have often found, it could just be me, that the thicker your page is, the easier this bit is. So, you know, so the more of them you've got. Get some of these big ones out of here. Sorry about the rattle. There's the smaller ones. Oh. No, they must all be in there, so sometimes the big ones can move things around when they're a bit overkill, but let's do it. Yeah, that really is grabbing that. Okay. So without moving anything, pushing everything into the middle. There's my ruler. Make sure it's all straight. Yes, I'm trying to do it really carefully to show you as well. So it's, you know, it's fiddly, but it's more fiddly on camera. Okay, so a lot of people put 4 on. Shall we go with 4 so it doesn't move at all? I generally when I'm doing the one signatures, I put less on and I put them on the other edge, but I won't confuse you. But with doing 2, you've got to be really, really accurate with where they hang. And yep, so I should have probably put that in before that, but this is now going to create my holes in there. So I've got the T at the top. Can you see that? I don't know if you can. I've got the T at the top. I need a book to punch into. Make sure it's at the top when you do it. So the T is at the top, and I'm going to use that, we're still level, yeah, to punch a hole. Stuck into my book now. Through there, come out. And then, whoops. Now, I put the holes in so I could draw the line, is what I was going to do. What I've done is actually punched straight through the paper, so I've missed a step out. Are we level? Yeah. But I don't suppose it matters. It would just be easier to draw a line and then punch your holes. Oh. Okay, and I'm going to turn it round, but I have to remember that's the top now. Yeah, so top up there. Fold it in again, just squash it in, that's it. Put the tea right up there. And that, right, see, if I'd have done the holes I'd have been able to hold that. Right, that is definitely in that hole. Let me hold it in, that's it. Stop moving. Okay, got it. And that one is through there. Oh, yeah. So we now have those 3 holes that we're going to go through. Slightly gone off with that one, look. Slightly twisted it. I think that's because of the size of these, to be honest. Right, let's get some thread going. So we want 3. 1, 2, 3, and just an inch at the most. And I need to put some lines on the spine, so I can see where we're going with it. Oops, is that the template? Got 2 templates here now. That wasn't that's the one because I drew the lines across it. Let's get rid of that one. Right, so will a pencil draw on that? I don't think it will. I'm going to use this little black pen. Right, so we'll line that up on the top like we did the others. And in the middle, yeah. So we're using the either side one now. Hope that's gone through. It has. Yep. It looks like it's twisted over a little bit there. It has. Gosh. Let me just do a double check. I don't want it to all go wrong. Yeah, not quite in the centre. Go down. Yeah, I think the material at the edge is bending up. So at the top, are we where we should be? Yes. Okay. Oh, just pushed the stub of my pen in. Nib of my pen, I should say, pressing so hard. Are you there? Yes, you are. Oh, poor old pen. It's a casualty. Let me just double check that I've got them accurate now. So I've got 8 centimetres there. No, not quite 8 centimetres. I was going to say, because there aren't quite 8 centimetres there. Yep, they look accurate. I'll just do the top one for double check. 7.5. Where are we? Yeah, 7.5. Okay. So I don't see how I can make that any more accurate than I have. Apart from I do think perhaps less bulky pins here. So did you see what I did? I just put the string through the middle, making sure I've got my, oh, it'd be an idea if I put some holes in here, wouldn't it? I know the needle's sharp, but I'm not sure it would, well, it wouldn't be easy. Yep, so with a fat book or something underneath you that's not going to spoil with your awl, you need to just poke through. Shouldn't be too hard. So your needle will go through easier and the thread will follow it. Oh, another aeroplane for you this morning. Light aircraft. I have to say it's a beautiful day. Oh. Now for me this was the most terrifying part of learning to journal. And I can't remember the first time I did it now, but I'm sure I've had shall we say, a learning curve. I've done quite a few things wrong before I get it right, and everybody you watch, not everybody, but a lot of people on YouTube do it differently, so there's lots of different ways. I think you just have to find a way that suits you. Right, which one are we going for? We'll go for this is the front, so we'll go for the front first. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Yep, so pull that through, make sure you're not pulling your string all the way through. I do hope you can still see. So I'm now going, now then, there it is, I've got it. I was going to say, seeing, so look, I'm back through, make sure you've got the right hole there, back through at the bottom, and then that needs to be closed because it was when I did it. I'm sorry you can't see, I'm actually missing a paper somewhere. I think I'm going through them all but one. Go on. Huh. Not enough fingers and thumbs here. Oh, maybe I can do it that way better. No, it's definitely missing one. Come on. Otherwise I'm going to have to open them all up. There you go. So just a little bit of yeah, perseverance. Just keep trying, just keep, oops, sorry, taking it out and trying, taking it out and trying till you get it where it should be. Obviously it's a sharp needle I'm using. You can use a blunt one if, you know, if you're not confident, because you can easily punch holes through the papers. Okay, have I got enough string is what I'm checking. I could probably do with a little bit more. That's it. Okay, and then the same again through that top one there, and make sure you're in the right line and go through your top one there. This job would have been much easier without my ribbons on. Yep, come through. That's it. Yep, so we're nearly there with the first one. So now we've got to go back through the same hole again. You'd be able to see better as well, wouldn't you, without that? So we're going back through that hole there that one went into. There. Wonderful. And back through. And the trick here is not to split the string that's already through. If you do, separate it, because you won't be able to tighten your signature at all. Okay, I'll take that needle off so I don't do myself an injury. So we're in. We're not tight, but we're in. You want one string either side of that long one that goes across the middle. And then you need to tighten. So we need to look here, make sure it's not baggy. I was going to go under that lace, wasn't I? I've just remembered. Never mind, it'll be covered. Yeah, let's see how I can show you this, because I like to try and keep it closed while I do it. That maybe should have been on the outside of there, shouldn't it? Would have held it better. You know what, I'm just going to take them off because they're being more of a nuisance than a help. We've got everything in the right place, so we don't need them. So you can pull the strings, try and pull them across from each other rather than, otherwise you'll rip your paper. See, that one there's not very tight, so which one is it that I need to be pulling? Let's just feel it. That one. Yeah, this string here. So pull the one that needs tightening. Hopefully that's it. That one's definitely tight now. And because we're either side of that, when we tie it, in theory, we should trap it in. Now this is waxed, waxed thread. It does move. So I have tied 2 knots in it like that and been able to undo it. previously, so don't assume it's absolutely spot on. What I didn't tell you was to make sure everything's upright here as well. So make sure that you've got the top of your cover and your top of your journal matching. And yes, I have sewn them in upside down before. Now you can, you know, snip out signatures that you've put in and reattach them, and I have done that, but your papers do weaken a little bit. Gosh, we're very close to the top there. We only just made it in, didn't we? See, it's not as easy as you think. Right, did it catch that little envelopey thing? That's what I was wondering. Oh, it did. Lovely. Yeah, so let's just check that everything's in. Yeah, you can see I have been a little bit rough with it. The first 2 pages have got quite big holes in. Yeah, I maybe just pulled it a little bit too tight. It is a fine line between too tight and too loose, because if it's loose they wander around, your signatures wander around. Gosh, yeah, we're in, but we're only just in. So in theory the same thing should happen here. I should be able to draw a line with the template, not draw a line, draw dots with a template. I'm trying to find the middle, is what I'm trying to do. That's it, I believe. Oh, come open. Oh, it's not. That's fine. Make sure I'm all level and find the middle. Right, they are not level. Let's get them nice and level. Yeah, so I levelled from the bottom, didn't I, last time? That's it. Gosh, train. That on there, and that's my middle piece that I was looking for. So I want those both at the bottom again. On there. That's it. So I've got all my bottom level, if you like. Let's look at this template and make sure that I am. Yeah, that is exactly where I drew it. So if I do the same thing, that one will be quite high again. Yeah, it is in, so it's fine. And to be honest, there's not a lot of room at the bottom, so it was quite a tight cover. So this in here. This will probably put you off forever. Please don't let it. It's honestly, and just if you just do one, it's much easier. So if you're just starting to sew in, start with one, and if you've sewn one in a few times, you'll not be quite so worried. Yeah. So I just put the all straight through it, didn't I? I do hope you can see. But I need that dead on the top like I did that one. Even though it is going to be right upright. Yeah. You don't need to keep that exactly still. I pulled it out last time, didn't I? Don't move. Thank you. Yeah, so hole through the middle of each one on the template. Actually, it could have been the awl that I made the big hole with, because I have gone quite a long way through with it. Perhaps I shouldn't push that so hard. Okay, and we've already put the holes in here this time. Oh, what we haven't done is clipped this. Just got it with my fingers. Thank goodness I didn't put it down and let go. And I'm just going to put 2 on. I may just clip it to the cover, I don't know, or I might do it how I did last time with it free, because I need to thread a needle. So I did think about having 2 ready. I should have followed through with that, shouldn't I? Oops, sorry, and a smidge. So I hope you're all well. I haven't had a chance to chat with you today, have I? It's just been a bit of a full-on get on and do it. I'm more than happy to do these things in front of you guys, as long as you're enjoying watching them. Middle first. I just don't... Have you moved? Or did I just not push you through as hard? So I'm not forcing. If I feel a bit of resistance, I'm not... yeah, so it went through. I'm not giving it a lot of, force, because patience is the key here. You don't want it to, to go through somewhere that you haven't planned. Yeah, so that might be better if it was attached to the cover like I normally do, but I didn't do the first one like that, so I'll do top next. I think I did. So through the top of this cover. See the hole? Yeah, I can. Tiny, but I can see it. And the card is pushed out this way, so I'm going opposite there. It's getting dark. It is. Come back. Oh. Now then, what kind of bird is that? And then through this one. Done the same again, not quite gone through. Sounds like a seagull, that to me. I might be wrong. Or a land gull, whatever they call them, because we're not at the seaside. No, that doesn't want to. You just feel it. You have to look at the angle, that's it. No, it's not. I can feel it under one paper there. Just try and recreate the angle you put your awl in. Alright, I'm not rushing. I'm sorry if this is boring, but I'm just taking my time finding the hole. Well, at the minute I'm taking my time and not finding the hole, but there it is. Yeah. Okay, so we're attached now. I think we need a bit more of that through, don't we? Well, maybe not. So make sure they're level still. And the same again, I'm going through this hole. Yeah, so I didn't make the holes, these last two holes, as big as I did in the previous ones, because I'm trying not to split the papers quite so badly, but it just means it's a little bit more fiddly. Right, are you level? I so hope you're level. After all that work. Sorry about the noise of that on the table. And then we're going through the last one. So this is the one, if you remember, that we don't want to split. Let's see if I can show you somehow. Go through there, but kind of going in the opposite direction, but not much, to the string that's coming through. In between the two signatures. Yeah, so I'm through, look, but I'm not in that string. Move that out the way again. Now all we need to do now is be back through this one. And of course we're all quite tight now, so maybe I should have done that one in one go. I'm thinking, yeah, I think I will. So I'm going to undo my needle. Which one am I on? The back one? Yeah. Pull it back out again. Seems a shame, I know. But I'm going to try go through both. Like you would if you was just doing a single signature. Where's the middle? There. Okay, so through there. Oops. Oh, have I pulled them both through now? No. Yes. There should already be a thread through there. Where's it gone? It's there, look, it's come out. Oh, you little devil. That's going to have to go in first. It was all going so well, wasn't it? This is the way it goes though. Yeah, so that's come out of there. That was the very first one we did. And of course I can't find it now. I've not got as much string to play with. I'm sorry I can't show you this bit because I can't tip it up. I don't think I can find it. Is that through? I'm missing one. I've not got the angle. Well, I can feel it. I think it's through them all, but that one. I don't want to create another. You're all lined up, aren't you? Yeah. Let me just put them all through and see which angle it's coming out at. Whoops. Yeah, so downwards. It needs to just be on the upward slant a bit. So this is a hang on to your threads. Don't let them pull through, it's a nightmare. You cannot. I've seen people tape them down with a bit of washi. Will not go in. I've seen people you know, put knots on the end of them gently to stop them pulling through. Are you there? You're not, are you? No, you're cutting paper, I can hear you. I can't understand because from that side it goes straight through. I'm so sorry. Can you see the aul's just going straight through, no problem. Come undone now. I'll try a few more times. If I can't do it I might have to turn the camera off and really put my head over it and see if I can follow that all through. I did. There we go. Right, don't pull it too much. Where's the one I was working on? Here. Yeah, so you can, people clip them into there and all sorts. Don't suppose it'll happen again, she says. Right, so what I was doing with the last one was going through both at once. Just fast forward me. So we're going back in that hole there, one we came out of. But instead of just pulling it through in the middle, what I want to do is go, so let's put it in the middle first, between the two signatures. Yep, we're through, and at the same time back through that one without, in theory, going through that. Oops. There we go. And we haven't gone through. Gosh. We're in. Right, let's take these noisy things off because they're not helping anything now. The strings are in. Don't pull them through. Oh, I have, look, I have gone through that. So I don't know if you can see there. Can you see how one's gone through the other? We want it separating. That's it. They are now. Got quite a big hole in the middle there now. Look. They are now free. That's it. Pull them, but not too tight. Yeah, it's nice and tight on the outside, that one. So then just put a knot in to secure it initially. Let's check before we're here. We have literally just made it into the top of that journal. I mean, there wasn't an awful lot spare at the bottom, but yeah, we're in. We're definitely in, but we're only just in. Okay, let's deal with the threads. So I did right over left for a knot, left over right for a knot, and right over left again. And in theory that stops it moving, but like I say, with my needle I have also been able to undo those. Yep, so it's not too weighty at the moment. Put all the threads down the bottom for now till I deal with them. And let's have a look how it looks. Okay. So we'll go through the pages, make sure we haven't missed any out. That's going to have a tip in on it. Centre. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the strings, I haven't decided yet. So that's going to have a tip in on it. You could put charms on them. You could just tie them in a bow, and you could glue them down and cut them really short. Yeah, really pleased with the pages in it. Okay, and that's signature too. We've got quite a big gap, look, so we could have moved further into the middle had we wanted. That's something that just comes with practice. Obviously that will fill as we put pockets and things in the back of the first signature, and in the front of the second one that gap closes, but you have to be aware that it closes both ends. So the front of the whole journal and the back of the whole journal will also expand into the spine a little. Lovely papers, aren't they? Yeah, I know I'm just going through checking, but I'm really pleased with the papers in there. So you can see I did have room to come down a few more millimetres at the bottom there. We are literally on the top line there. Yeah. So I could take them out. I could take them out and trim the top and re-stitch them in. I'm going to have a little think about that, I think. Don't like them right on the top there. Obviously I could put a trim that went a little bit higher. Not necessarily that, but the cover protects the journal pages. I mean, they are in it. We're not touching the. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that. If it wasn't too stressful for you. Yeah, I'll probably have another go and sew in another double one on camera for you, just so that, well, it'll become easier for me doing it on camera. It'll be easier for you when you've seen it a few times. Yep, so there we go. Okay, thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up if it hasn't been too stressful. Pop back for my next video and I will be filling the journal. So have a lovely day and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Okay guys, so I've just come on to show you that I have altered it at the top. So all I did was went across with my craft knife. I should have done it on film, shouldn't I really? I went across with my craft knife on my plastic ruler and I simply took 1/4 inch off of both signatures, and then when I lay it flat in the middle, look, you can see I need to re-ink both tops, obviously. But you can see they are both, hope you can see, they're both now well within the cover and level. And let's go to the middle again. Yeah, much more in the middle that way. They're still slightly near the top than the bottom, but yeah, they're well within it and protected, so I'm much happier now. Okay, see you soon, bye bye.